Haggy Animal, one and all. Welcome to the Not Until Sports TV. Right, today we want to recap the England game yesterday. Where do I start? Right, we just want to have a look back at the game itself, the tactics. Gareth Southgate, is he good enough? Is he an elite manager? Can he take these England players to the promised land? My personal opinion is no. He's not good enough to take them. He's not brave enough, rather is the right word, rather than good enough. He's too pragmatic. He's too loyal to a few players that did well for him in a pragmatic way. He's not expansive enough in his mind, let alone in his play. As I stated in one of my earlier blogs, England team has to impose themselves in this World Cup in order to be seen and to be taken serious by other serious nations. Too many of those players out there were out there because of their ability to get about the pitch in a defensive fashion. Mason Mount, as I said, should not be on a starting 11 of a team aspiring to win a World Cup, especially not in a group stage where you're playing the USA. Horses for courses, I get all of that. But especially in a game like this, you needed players who can get on the ball and create. For me, Mason Mount is a poor man's Lampard. If he's not scoring, he contributes nothing else to the team other than running around and make the shape of the team right. And trying to win a World Cup, that's not what you need. So, and again, also Harry Kane. I get it. The captain armband mean that you probably start him. But it doesn't mean that it's a lifetime achievement where he has to be out there all the time. Harry Kane should have been taken off long time. Even if you just about started, he should have been taken off. That game was crying out for pace, as the Americans was not giving any space behind. And when the ball do play forward from the back, Harry Kane is not the person running into channels. This was a game to have Callum Wilson up front and our Marcus Rashford running in behind from the beginning. This was a game screaming out for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Because if you're going to play a system where your midfield is non-existent, because exactly that what it was with England yesterday. They didn't have the creativity, the guile, nothing there. So whom else are you must be looking for your creation from your fullbacks then. So who else other than Trent Alexander-Arnold in this squad to make those passes from deep, to make those crosses, those pinpoint crosses, rather than just kicking the ball out? Is pinpoint crossing. You need that Trent Alexander-Arnold to be doing that. So those subtle changes like that. A Foden, who is used to playing in tight spaces. These are things you will not hear from the bandits from TalkSport, like Jason Conde or Jamie Orr or people like those who are on code. Because these guys baffle me, as I don't understand how they call themselves former players. They just stay on code. And you have that one, that Gabby Bangalore and all those players. I swear, sometimes when they open their mouth, you have to wonder if these guys ever seen the game, never mind played the game before. But I get it, it's an agenda and they have to speak on code. Their takeaway from the game yesterday was that Harry Maguire was man of the match. I don't get it. I swear I don't get it. The guy had 1,000 ball out and he became man of the match. That's what they want you to believe as fans, but I promise you, just use your mind for yourself. EU controls the media, controls the narrative. Control your own mind. I'm sure you saw the game for yourself. Harry Maguire was no man of no damn match. If there was a player who was man of the match, you have to pick from one of many American players. And from an England standpoint, not one player stood out. Heading a few balls out don't make you play well. That's not what the game is about when you're an elite team. That's what I'm saying. So if that's the standard they want to lower when it suits them, so be it. But I'm not buying it. All I'm saying is Gareth Southgate is not an elite manager. And you do not have an elite Formula 1 car, if I should draw an analogy, and put just any old driver in it and expect to win. You need an elite driver. So this England team need an elite driver, i.e. a manager, to drive this team forward. If I'm to believe that they've got elite players, which Southgate ain't. The guy does not know to change game within the game. The game was stagnant and dead and buried, and we got like for like. We got Jordan Henderson in midfield, and we got replacing Bellingham, and we had Grealish replacing Sterling. That makes no sense in my eyes. And that is way of saying, yeah, maybe I can win it, but I'm making damn sure I did not lose that game. That's not the sort of manager you want when you're trying to win tournaments. You want managers who's going to be expansive, who's going to be thinking out the box. And as I said, the captain armband is not a lifetime achievement award where you have to be out there. Harry Kane can come off or Harry Kane cannot start. The opponents plan for him. You can surprise the opponents. Give them something fresh that they never saw. You know, like Italy did? Yeah. This was what? The 1994 World Cup. When they had Baggio and they had, I forgot the guy's name, was the leading scorer for Italy at that time in the World Cup. So, that's that forward. But the point I mean, you can surprise teams. You can play other players. 1966, Jeff Hurst played. As I said, he replaced Jimmy Greaves and them lot in the starting lineup. You can come with something different. Not a predictable Harry Kane up front and then Harry Kane drop the... Harry Kane is not a midfielder. It's as if you're playing with one less man. He's ineffective up front and you put him in the midfield to do what? All of a sudden he's going to become Xavi or Iniesta in the midfield. Huh? They tried that with Wayne Rooney when in the latter part of his career, when he wasn't producing the goods up front. Instead of dropping the guy and put someone in the midfield, they rather put Wayne Rooney there and he swings a pass here and there. Oh, he's a great passer. Don't let them tell you that. As I said, those bandits and talk sports, they've got their agenda. They've got their script that they're reading from. And those are the former footballers that you'll see, and whether it be BBC, ITV or Sky, who will come there and talk for their job for the boys, talk for their mates. That's not what this is about. We've got eyes for ourselves. It needs an elite manager who's going to play players, inform, play players, not just only inform, but players who you think can win a game rather than someone has to play because he wears an armband or he did well in the last tournament, i.e. Maguire. It doesn't work like that. So, for the moment, I'm still having my jury. That doesn't mean England is not going to do well in the tournament because of that yesterday, but I'm just saying going forward, if this manager is not going to switch up his mindset, then they're not going to go far. They go as far as this manager is willing to let himself step out the box. Hagi Animo, Memento Mori one and all, and as usual, not until.